Hey everybody, so we are on part 4, I believe, of this French Farm journal make. A refresher, I'm making 2 different journals. And I think, for the most part, I've got all the ephemera sewn. All these little pieces from the kit. I'm using a kit, French Farm from, let me think here. I'm using a kit from BontikVintageDesigns. I'll link all of his information below. The kit I'm using is French Farm. Here are some of the little pieces from it. You can see the colors and kind of the theme and all that. I'm also using a bunch of other stuff I have here. There's some other little images from the kit that I've incorporated into the ephemera. Little pockets from the kit. Little bookmarks that I created from the kit. So that's kind of the theme that I'm going by. But I also have a whole bunch of other stuff that I've put together from other images I had, magazine images. This is from the kit. Again, I've just gotten a lot of other images, farm type images, calendar pieces that we made little booklets out of. So a lot of stuff going on in here, but mostly the theme is this, the kit that I use is this French Farm. So I think what I want to do, these are some little tags from the kit. I added a little bit of string to them. I just think it's so cute, so pretty. There's another one of the big images from, made a journal card out of it, and I've sewn just little fabric foo-foos on these pieces. Anywho, so we have all this. Lots of ephemera going on in here. Plus we have our squares, our quilted squares that I've backed and sewn, and we'll make these into pockets or something. So that's all going in here. What I want to work on tonight is kind of trying to wrap my brain around the papers I'm going to use. You know, I've shown y'all some of the pages that I'm going to use because they're full pages from the kit that I attached to the back of some of these other pages, some other scrapbook pages. Some of the pages I've got are like from magazines though, some wrapping paper. So I've just got a random mix of pages that I've already kind of got done. They're not journaling pages per se, if that makes any sort of sense. So I want to try to make some sense of these. I think first we need to pull out the ones that have the images from the kit and separate those first, because I want to have an equal mix of images from the kit in each of them. Like I said, I'm doing two journals with this. And I mainly decided to do 2 journals because I have so much random thread here. I have so much, this kit has so many goodies in it. I couldn't decide, you know, which ones I wanted to use. And, you know, usually if I use a kit, I'm really picky and I pick and choose which pieces I want to use. And all that. But this one, I was like, oh, I want to use them all. So, yeah. Okay, so we have images from the kit, pages, and then we have a bunch of other random pages. And the Libra in me wants to balance these out and make sure that we've got an equal amount in each. Let's see here. How many do we have first off? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Of course, we don't have an even number, of course. That would make too much sense and make life a lot easier. Okay, let's just see what we got here. I know I've got a handful of them that have this. Well, let's just, maybe we can do it like this, because I don't want to duplicate images per se. And maybe I don't have the duplicates printed. Maybe, look at all these, God, these gorgeous images. I love them. I love them so much. Maybe I didn't print off any duplicates of the big sheets. Okay, well, we can't go that route then. Okay. Well, so then, I guess we'll have to do it another way. So I've got my decision making is going to be, do I want these two in the same book, or do I want one in each book? That's kind of, I guess, where I'm going to have to break it down. Maybe we can start with those. Okay. If we start with these, this is the chaos that is my world. This is probably not traditionally how somebody would put together a journal. This is just how my brain has to make it work. Especially when I don't have a lot of matching stuff. So, we will do, so we have 2 with this inside, so we'll do 1 of each. And then let's see where we are with, then that makes me feel like I need to do these 1 of each. So that's what we'll do with that. Then we're down to these that have the backing, the, stained water backing. I have 2 that are on the outside and 2 that are on the inside. I lied, 3 that are on the inside. And then I've got 1 of each. Just kind of willy-nilly in it there. So I have 1 more image. Nope, I have 3 more images. I'm inclined to say that these are kind of the same. I attached, I folded an envelope in. Somebody 1 of each on those. So let's see what we have of the randomness. That's a pile. And that's a pile. So we have one of these left from the kit, from the kit. I know I have 2 of the laundries. So let's do 1 of each of the laundries. And I know I have 2 of these little half pages. And then I've got these sheets. So we got 2 of each of these sheets. This is more of that water stained paper. Just plain paper. I've got 1 of each of these. See, there's a part of me that says, okay, these go in 1 and the laundry goes in 1. But I'm trying to we're trying to be even Steven, right? So this is just a plain page. Oh, we got 2 crinklies. I thought I had another plain page. I do. So this is a plain, and I say plain page, these are magazine pages that I'm not doing anything to, because they can both be used in the goods. These were 2 art images. I just thought the colors went well with them. So we can do 1 of each in those. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. I have another 1 of these. Yep. So we'll do, that is actually more like that. Method to my madness. Method to my madness, y'all. Okay. So we have this weird piece. This weird piece. So we'll split the weird pieces. And then we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 random pieces. Okay. So let's just willy-nilly it. Or with this one we can cut in half. So, okay, we have one there and one there, and then we'll do that. And then this one we'll cut in half real quick. Let me see where we are with that. This is a piece of vellum. It's got baby's breath on it. So it's kind of crunchy and crinkly. It's pretty. So that's how we split that. Okay. Good deal. Okay, now I have some of these coffee stained pages. Let's see how many I have of those. 1, 2. That don't feel right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you know what that means. 1, 2, 3, 4 for you. 1, 2, 3, 4 for you. And then I have some red avocado dyed paper as well. But I think before I start folding this and assigning it, I'm going to see where we are with our thickness. I initially don't feel like that's very thick for a one book. But let's just see where we are. So we got 1 book and 2 book. Now I'm going to break it down even further. So we've got 4 of these. So we're going to shoot for 2 signatures and see where we come up. Here is our water stain paper. And then we do 2. I'm just kind of willy-nilly in it right now. Just kind of 1, 2, 1, 2 in it. Okay. Now I quote-unquote have 2 signatures. So I'm going to put these together. And we'll see where we are. Let's start with this. I'm just tucking them in here. No particular order. Okay, so that's 1 signature. And of course, I'll trim this down to fit our template soon enough. Let's put together our second template. Our signature, not template. I don't like to have thin things in the middle for whatever weird reason. I like to have something solid, like a heavier cardstock or whatever. Okay, so we have 2 signatures for 1 book. I mean, I guess I could do, since I don't have my spines made for my journals, I guess we could easily do that. I mean, it is going to be chunkier because I've got to fill it with all that ephemera. But I think that's what we'll work with. Okay. And then let's do this one. So we'll do it the same. We'll do 2 signatures. And again, just kind of willy-nilly in it. Somebody's going to have an extra one. I don't know how we ended up with an extra one in this one, but that's okay. I mean, I have other paper I can fill it with. We've got more of the avocado paper that I can fill it with. I'm sure I've got some more of this copy dyed paper floating around. No rhyme or reason here. Just trying to get them all together, and I will figure them out before I trim them. Exactly what I want where and all that good stuff. Okay. Same kind of situation, and not as thick as I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. Again, because I'm going to have all that ephemera in here somewhere. So, okay, I think we're going to work with that. Now, the only other thing I'm thinking is I'm wondering if I want to break these down into 3 signatures. And if I broke them down into 3 signatures, I could add some of this. So, let me see if I can do that. Set you aside your book number 1. I'm going to use these interchangeably, book 1 and book 2. They haven't been assigned officially yet, so. Did y'all expect to tune in and watch me shift papers around? Surely you didn't. But I've got this avocado dye paper that I want to try to get in here. So let's kind of reconfigure things a little bit. Start from the inside and maybe take a chunk of stuff out. Maybe that's the best way to do it. And then with that chunk, we can create, just like that, a third signature. Okay, I'm good with that. Now, let's just see how many of these pages. I know I want to do at least one in each signature. How's that? So we'll fold up 3. And as we're inserting these in here, we'll figure out where we have some space. Okay. So I'm just kind of trying to think. I want journaling space, yes, of course, but I do want, I mean, I've got a lot of ephemera to work in, so we need pages for pockets and things like that, so. Just put one in there. So this is going to have 2 in it, but that's okay. This one don't really need one. It's pretty... We can have one here just for another flash of color. Okay. I'm good with that. So move on to book 2. See where we can put some of these in here. Oh, I got to break it down into 3 signatures. I don't like, let's see here. What is in the center? Let's flip this. Again, method to my madness, don't ask. Okay. Just trying to break up the pages a little bit with that avocado paper. Actually, it probably should be right in here. And this little flappy-doo piece, I'm going to put it in between here. Break that up a little bit. Okay. And then where can we add some avocado dye paper in this? Maybe right here. Okay. I feel good about that. Let's set the rest of this aside for future projects. Okay, now we flipped through those. We felt pretty comfortable about where we were with those. So I think now what I'm going to need to do is chop my papers down a little bit. I'm tucking everybody to the bottom. That's not where I want everybody eventually, you know, in the long term. But I'm tucking everybody to the bottom. And I'm finding my template. Is it template or template? And we are gonna, without shifting around too much, clip everybody in. And then we can trim everybody down. And by tucking everybody to the bottom, I just need to trim the top. And trim this side. Now, most everybody, except for these coffee dyed pages, should fall within our parameters, because I've been measuring as I go. Everybody fits. And of course, we'll shift everybody around once we get done, once we get everybody built. My pages aren't built yet, if that makes any sense. This one should be within the parameters. Yes, because we didn't add any coffee paper, and the avocado dyed paper didn't go out of our bounds. It's mainly the coffee paper that's... So we're shifting everybody, shaking everybody to the bottom. These pages like to stick together, so that's why I kind of go in. Okay, that's not going to work with that being the centerpiece. Let's trade places with this and this. Again, I don't like thin, flimsy in the center for some reason. I'm sure it doesn't make much difference, but it's just one of those OCDs. I'm tucking everybody in tight. Lining my template up tight. And again, we should just mainly be trimming this coffee dyed paper because it was oversized. But if there were any stragglers, which that looks like it's going to be a straggler, trying to be a straggler, but I'll inch it that way a little bit. Oh, somebody straggled. I think it was that envelope page that had some scrap in it. But, yeah, it was that. Had some little bit of overhang. That's okay. So now everybody, all three signatures should be within our template, and everybody is. Good deal, good deal, good deal. So we have book one kind of here. And moving on to book two. Again, interchangeably, not officially book one or officially book two. They're just, I'm working on two at the same time. Tuck everybody down and tuck everybody in. Holding tight to get our template on so nobody shifts around. This is the general way I trim all of my pages. I mean, trim all my books. Is I kind of put together my signatures and then trim them down. But since I had so many of those pages that were the back of the, that's not good. You see what I did? Dang it. We're going to have to, that's a sewn piece right there. This is a edge that's sewn, so we're going to have to find that one and sew him back together. Anyways, since I had so many of these it was the goose. No, he was being a little silly. I know it's kind of loud, but I'm going to step over here and sew this real quick so we don't get him lost in the shuffle. Just do this real quick, just one down the side. Alrighty. Got the hiccups. I'm sorry, y'all. Anywho, excuse me. What I was saying is this is typically how I do my pages, how I do my books, is I get all my pages together and then you got to decide how you want them before you do this, because if I go back now, my center pages are going to be longer, and so if I go back and like move my center page to the edge, then it's going to be a different size because of the way that the pages, crease in together. So you have to decide if this is exactly how you want the pages in order, before you line them up and trim them like that. Because when you have it folded to the center, your center pages are going to be, your pages are they're different sizes. While they look like they're the same size, they're not. So that's a little hint or tip. But this to me allows me to get all my pages even. I need to change out my blade. It's chopping this up and I don't like that. I have to go in and trim that up, but yeah, I need to change my blade really. Okay, let's try it with this. Maybe I can get through this book and this signature and the next signature without having to change out my blade. Okay. Signature 3, tap it down, tap it down, tap it down. Everything's tapping down. Anyways, what I was saying is this is how I like to do my journals, but if you're sewing, pages back to back, I knew they would be smaller than my templates, so I was okay to go ahead and do those first. But if I'm not sewing pages back to back, then even if they're oversized like this coffee paper, I'll go ahead and put them in this stash and use this method and then sew. That way I don't cut into any sewing like I just did, I hope I'm making sense. I just found it's easier to get me to get all my signatures, essentially, no pun intended, on the same page. So, both of our books are cut. This all goes in the recycle bin. And so now what we got to do is we have our 2 books, and now we're just going to have to work on working in all this lovely ephemera, or most of it. So that's kind of where I'm gonna, I think that's where I'm gonna leave things. I need to decide on this covers. I bought this pillowcase specifically for this journal, and I just haven't figured out how's best to use it. I could cover a whole journal. I could cover them both with that. What do you think? But then I feel like I still need something. I had these couple of images pulled out. I loved this image, and I was thinking about using it on the cover of one of these. I mean, I guess I could still cover it, and then let's see what you think. What do we think about this? If we covered this cover, could we still put this image on here? Kind of whitewashes it out. I do have some other random images floating around here that I like. This is the cutest little magazine image here. Little boy holding a chicken. So, I gotta make some decisions about these covers. I'm kind of reluctant to cover them since I've already done my inside. You know, because if I wrap fabric around, technically I should have waited and put my paper down here after the fabric was wrapped. So, maybe I can just do some scrappy pieces. Let's see here. It's hard to visualize with big pieces, you know. If you just did a little scrappy and then did some sort of image. Let's see if there's an image from the, I think if we did an image from the kit. Or you can just do a simple square. I mean, I have plenty to play with as far as color wise. And then we can line our spine with that. Oig, I think I got decisions to make, and I can't brain them. I really like this material, and I think it goes well with our color scheme and all that. I don't know how it's best to use it. I mean, maybe it's best to use it in the spine for sure, but I don't know. So that's going to be our next big decision, our next big project. I'm gonna play around with some decision making off camera, and then when I come back, we'll work on the. So what we got to do, what we have left to do, is figure out the covers and make some spines. I'm not going to make the spines yet until I get all this ephemera into the pages, so we know how thick we're going to be. And then, so we got to get our ephemera into our pages, and then we'll have to figure out our cover. So we still have a few things going on. Yeah, so I guess the next step is to work this ephemera into these pages. So when I come back, that's what we'll work on, and go from there. So thanks for joining me. I think this again was part 4. This is the French farm themed journal using the kit from Bontik Vintage Designs. I've got his information linked below. He's offering a pretty nice little discount for his store. Got a special code and all that. It's down below. So check that out. Check out his shop. And yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.